Hello and welcome to this short study guide on how to read the PMBoK. Now you might be wondering, why would somebody provide guidance on how to read a book? And the reason is that this thing, the Guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge, is not a particularly easy read because it's been written as a reference book rather than having been written as a study guide. So if I give you some guidance, you'll be able to do the key thing in reading this book. The key thing is to have a strong mental model of the journey through a project. It is described in here, but it's hard to find. It actually starts there on page 417 rather than there at the beginning. So my name is Simon Harris. I will be your host and your guide through this course and through reading the PMBoK. The PMBoK, or the Guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge, is the foundation and basis for two exams. There's the Certified Associate in Project Management and the Project Management Professional. I'll talk more about the difference between them shortly, but for now let me say that both exams are based on the book, and both exams give you 72 seconds per question. In the CAPM, you get 3 hours worth of questions or 150 questions, and in the Project Management Professional exam, you get 4 hours worth of questions, 200 questions. In fact, that's not quite true. In both exams, there are a number of pre-test questions. Their PMI, Project Management Institute, are using you to test the questions rather than the test questions testing your knowledge. These questions are not going to count towards your final score. You won't actually be able to distinguish them as you do your exam, but they don't contribute at all to your score. So that means that when you're doing your exam, you have some target to aim at, which nobody actually knows what the target is because PMI don't publish it. All we do know is that they use the pre-test questions to gauge how clearly worded and how well people respond to those questions, and then they set a score that is believed to be something like 61% of the real questions scored correctly. But the real target for you when you're studying should be to try and achieve at least 80% of all the questions that you come across. On that basis, starting with the end in mind, as they say, perhaps what we should do is go have a look at a question. Let's go try one. Now, questions with 72 seconds each in the live exam mean I'm going to time you on this question. I am slightly going to talk over it as you look at it, but that might just mirror a little bit of distraction in the sense that when you come to the real exam, you're going to be fueled on adrenaline because you're likely to be quite nervous because it's an expensive exam to take. It takes a lot of hours and it costs quite a few dollars to book yourself an exam. So let me show you an exam question. Let's see how you do on it. Ready? Here it comes. Now most people's initial reaction is, oh wow, that's a lot of reading. So about now you should probably be picking up on what the possible answers are. And about now you should be whittling your final answers down to a couple, picking one, and moving on. That's a good exam pace that I've just described. It might take you up to about here. Now you're beginning to get yourself in trouble because there will be other more difficult questions than this one. This is guess and move on territory. There's no penalty for getting a question wrong, but if you leave it, you cannot possibly get a mark from it. And now that's your time up. So the exam is a bit more than just knowing the facts. It's also about having technique, because you should have attacked that question with some technique. Let me show you the analysis in the next video.